Am I a lion? I don't look like a lion, but I do have a mighty roar. Hello folks, Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU here for a Legacy NickFit video supported by a common donator and supporter of the stream, Fine and Andy. This is a neat build of NickFit that is heavy on the planeswalker focus. In case you're not familiar with the overall NickFit strategy, it seeks to put a veteran explorer into play, which, when it dies, each player can search the library for up to 2 basic land cards and put them onto the battlefield. And then it wants to sacrifice that with cards like Cabal Therapy or Diabolic Intent. The cool thing about Legacy is that a lot of decks don't have 2 basic lands in their deck, period. And accordingly, Veteran Explorer is frequently one-sided ramp, especially if you end up getting a second one at some point in the game. NickFit seeks to go bigger than most other decks in the format, and if you take a look at the right column here, most Legacy decks don't go up to like 3, let alone 8. So when NickFit makes it to the end game versus some sort of fair deck, they usually win those battles. Now, I've separated the piles sort of conceptually rather than by converted mana cost because, we go up to 8. This pile here with the 7 cards in it is essentially my Green Sun Silver Bullets, and there's some neat things here, including some cards I haven't played with before. Evolution Sage, whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you can proliferate, and that means we can put an extra counter on all of our planeswalkers, which is pretty neat. We have Nissa Vastwoods here, which saw a decent amount of standard play. ETBs, you can search your library for a forest card, or a basic forest card, reveal it, put it in your hand and shuffle. And if you have 7 or more lands, when that happens, you get to turn it into a planeswalker. So it's a planeswalker, kind of, that you can Green Sun for. And the same is true of Grist the Hungertide, which has been showing up more and more in assorted Legacy decks. And we have Archon of Valor's Reach, which can soft lock many decks and eliminate the answers that someone has to Archon or stop them from comboing off. And then we have Carth the Lion, the namesake card of this version of the deck. When Carth the Lion enters the battlefield, or a planeswalker you control dies, you look at the top 7 cards of your library, you can reveal a planeswalker card from among them and put it into your hand. And the neat part about this is that planeswalkers' loyalty abilities you activate cost an additional +1 to activate. So if you have some big bad planeswalker in play and it ticks up faster, that's threatening those big scary ultimates that just win the game on their own much faster, which is really neat. Now, I believe that since this applies to everything, if you have, say, an Ashiok in play, if its ability costs an additional +1, that means that all of a sudden Ashiok's minus ability now becomes a 0 ability, and this can, in theory, stick around forever. And I think that's really neat. It can provide some interesting things. You know, it means you can minus more frequently with something like a Grist without it dying. I don't know how frequently we'll end up assembling Carth plus a Planeswalker, where the Planeswalker just hasn't won the game on its own. But this is a really cool interaction, and I have a feeling that my Commander EDH type people will enjoy this sort of thing a lot. I'm going to scoot the sideboard over here for a minute now, because there's a lot of stuff going on here. As far as the sideboard goes, we essentially have 8 cards for fair stuff and 7 cards for unfair stuff, and Endurance sometimes will be an honorary hate card for matchups like Reanimator or maybe Doomsday as well. The way the sideboard is constructed feels pretty solid to me. Again, if we take a look at the main deck real quick, there's not just a giant pile of removal Abrupt Decays here that you often see in NickFit variants. We're relying a little more heavily on the planeswalkers to actually kill things. Oh, and to point out one other thing that the deck is built around, Arena Rector has a ability similar to Veteran Explorer, where when it dies, you can exile it. If you do, search for a Planeswalker and put it onto the battlefield. And that's our way to get big bads like Ugin'd into play for, quote-unquote, for free, really for a discount. All right, Anyway, I hope you'll enjoy this. If you're new to the channel, please consider following for legacy, modern, and vintage content 5 days a week. If you're a regular, throw me a like. It's the easiest way to support my channel. If you're interested in deeper level strategy stuff, please consider joining. I have a few high-level strategy videos that are exclusives for YouTube members. And if you want to try this one out or get your video on stream on YouTube, whatever, however you want to say that, that information's in the video description. Let's battle. Okay, what do I think of this hand? It doesn't really do anything. Like, I can cast a Cabal Therapy and then a Scavenging Ooze and flashback the Cabal Therapy, I guess, but there's not a real plan to win the game here. You know, I can cast 2 discard spells to punch a hole, but I don't have anything to, like, ram in there, so mulligan. Oh no. So this is an opening hand that, like, has lands, but no ability to do anything. I probably need to throw this one back too. Yeah, let's throw it back. Why have you forsaken me, Karanos? What have I done wrong? I mean, I just can't. Well, we're gonna keep a 4-card hand. That goes back. That goes back. I think I'm just gonna keep 3 lands and an Arena Rector and hope that we like Mize Ugin'd and do stuff. This is a disappointing way to start. Oh, the Windswept Heathmere. So I'm not fetching to thin here because I don't know exactly how this game is going to develop and like what mana sources I am likely to need. I don't know if I'm going to get wastelanded or not. So I'm just gonna chill for a little while and not make those decisions yet. Like, I'm probably not going to get like a Dryad Arbor with Windswept Heath, but I want to leave my options on the table. I will probably end up fetching and playing out a Pernicious Deed next turn. I'm not exactly sure why my opponent is taking so long with their turn. Like, Windswept Heath is not the most indicative play of a combo deck outside of maybe Elves. But like last turn too, they were thinking for a long time. So I don't know if they're scared of me being a combo deck and just winning out of nowhere or what. Okay, it is a wasteland. So we're likely to be facing something roughly on the Maverick spectrum. So here's the deal. I can continue to pretend to be a depth deck and have them, like, maybe not wasteland me, or I could get this game started. So, like, the level 1 obvious play here is probably just to cast Pernicious Deed, because, like, I very much suspect it will be good against my opponent's deck. But if I do so, I basically get wastelanded 100% of the time, which isn't great. The next thing I could do is just, like, Cabal Therapy them. And, like, maybe they don't wasteland me. I think that the easiest way for me to win this game is to Cabal Therapy them and at some point get to 4 mana and cast this Arena Rector. I'm just not sure if I should Deed first or not. If I Deed, I get wastelanded such a huge proportion of the time. I'm gonna try to do this in a way where I'm unlikely to get wastelanded. So I don't care about Swords to Plowshares here. I am naming Swords to Plowshares specifically to, ooh, they are not exactly Maverick, they are a depth deck of their own. I'm naming Swords to Plowshares specifically to make them think that we are playing like a mirror or a pseudo mirror, and make it so that they don't wasteland me. I'm old to 4. All right, this is my big turn where I need to spike the land. If I spike this land this turn and just slam an Arena Rector on an empty board, I probably win. And if I don't, life's tough. Damn it. Well, that does get me to a 4th land. That's the good news. So we'll just grab this so I can't be taken off a color. Play you. Search for a forest card. Has to be a basic. I'll play that. Oh no, I don't want to do that, because I need to get this Arena Rector out of play. But I could get double Wastelanded in this turn cycle, which would suck. And likely be the correct line for my opponent. The green-white Reclaimer deck is, well, I suppose there's really multiple, but a lot of the mid-rangey green-white or sometimes junk versions of this deck are pretty good. They have a lot of options. They can just create large creatures, they can wasteland lock you out, you know, they can produce a fast Merit Lodge. There's a lot of options there. I like those style of decks. I'm guessing this is Ramunap, yep. And my opponent will sacrifice this, put a wasteland in graveyard, wasteland me twice, yada 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 yada. And it sucks. Alright, there's wasteland number 1. And here's wasteland number 2. At this point, I think this game is basically over. Like, I will die to this Knight of the Reliquary before I can make 4 land drops and do the Arena Rector thing. I'm going to go ahead and concede here. And if I don't, like, if I Assassin's Trophy this, and I just, like, give them another land, I still get Wasteland locked, and I'm in a pretty horrible spot. Okay, we'll probably play some combination of these cards right here. I don't need Collector Oof. I probably don't want Evolution Sage. Liliana of the Last Hope probably is not impactful enough. I can probably lean on other planeswalkers harder. Carth maybe needs to go here. My opponent is a Karakas deck, so if I can cut down on legendary creatures, that's probably good. This is currently giving me 4 slots. I'll probably junk 1 Diabolic Intent just to make room. And this, as of right now, would give me something looking approximately like this. I'd have to decide like how many like Endurances versus Swords to Plowshares do I really want. I probably want to skew heavier on the Swords to Plowshares side. Protect my Planeswalkers. I want at least 1 Endurance for a Green Sun target. Maybe I'll junk a Nissa Vastwoods here for another Endurance. Yeah, but I just did not have many cards to work with that game. Nickfit isn't a deck that necessarily mulligans well because you require a bunch of lands to do your stuff, and you also require some things to bridge the gap to the late game. So it's not like, you know, a combo deck where, you know, you can just go like land Dark Ritual, important card, and all of a sudden you're good to go. That's very much not the case here. A lot of the decent Nickfit hands need like 3 lands. Okay. This is a land light hand. I have a turn 1 and a turn 2 play, but I need 2 more lands to do my stuff, and I'm vulnerable to Wasteland. I think this goes back. This hand cannot sacrifice my creatures easily. Like, I can't just immediately sacrifice, but Wrist is a way to sacrifice a creature, so I think I keep this. And I think I'm going to throw back the Pernicious Deed and just keep cheaper removal. I think I am going to lead on Bayou and play Veteran Explorer. If I do something like fetch a basic to play around Wasteland, I actually take myself off of white, and I need that for 2 of the spells in my hand. Alright. If you just play a creature on turn 1, I have an answer to that. So, like, if my opponent's play is just like an Elvish Reclaimer or a Dryad Arbor, like, I have a good bridge turn, and hopefully I draw a land in 1 of 2 draw steps. Alright. So, I think I'm probably supposed to get a non-basic here. Because if I get Wastelanded, it's already a problem. And if I get Wastelanded and I get a basic, I will be down to 1 color instead of 2 colors. So, is it Scrub or is it Savannah? I think it's Savannah because I have a green card in my hand. Alright. So let's junk Dryad Arbor and get in there for 1. I am in big trouble if I miss my land drop, though. And I would much rather have Swords to Plowshare to that, but hopefully we hit a land. So that's the way this league is going, huh? Yeah, now my opponent gets to like activate Elvish Reclaimer, sack the flagstones, and end up a land instead of at the same number of lands. And that also just finds Merit Lodge. Oh yeah, I am super screwed. So this Ashiok stopping my opponent from searching is 1 mana too slow because I missed out on that land drop. I guess there's some Arena Rector baselines where things can still go okay. Yeah, and these Elvish Reclaimers are also going to be 3/4s that just get to attack and pressure whatever Planeswalker I play. Shit. Okay. So I think this needs to be my line. I think I need to Grist and plus. And then I can just, like, do blocks on this stuff. Rather than, like, try to sack this and immediately destroy one of these. But, like, the Merit Lodge cometh. Like, if I spike a land, and I can just play Arena Rector minus, maybe I can make something work. But life is bad. Oh, they're just going the Wasteland route. They're not even going to try to Merit Lodge me. Wasteland makes sense in the face of the Veteran Explorer that's about to give me 2 lands. If they have a Swords to Plowshares or a Prismatic Ending or something, it does. Yep. I will protect the Grist. This will give my opponent more mana on their main phase, but, you know, whatever. Alright, now the Veteran Explorer triggers. Yes. Pick up a white and a black so that I cannot be wastelanded off of colors. Okay, there is the Merit Lodge. My opponent is naturally having the Dark Depths. Oh, yeah, that's pretty savage. I'm not sure that my Arena Rector actually gives me outs now. Not sure that it gave me outs before, honestly. If anything that, like, prevents damage until the next turn off of this stuff. Yeah, not really. Yeah, I think that means that I'm dead. I guess I can draw Assassin's Trophy. Yeah, if they don't make the Merit Lodge and I draw Assassin's Trophy, that's an out. Or if they make the Merit Lodge, I have outs. Okay. So this will be like a Sylvan Safekeeper, yep. Now life's pretty bad. Okay, they're making it now. Wait, hold on. Don't I just win? Did they just play this in a way where I straight up just win? Because I just get Ugin. Huh. Yeah. Yeah. That was a punt. So I sacrificed this. I guess let's put this one on the stack first, and then see if I can destroy a land in process here. Okay. There's the Shroud happening. Yes, I will use this ability. I will get Ugin the Spirit Dragon. I will -1, and that exiles 4 of their permanents, and I also destroyed a land this turn. Yep, I went from no outs to my opponent playing exactly in the way that allowed me to win. So that was cool. I enjoyed that a lot. My opponent had absolute perfect information. Like, they knew all the cards in my deck, they just didn't see the interaction. Okay, yep. I believe it will be pretty hard for me to lose from here. Yeah, I mean, you can Green Sun for a night. I don't know that it's going to do you much good. Oh yeah, that's fantastic. I wish I could get this Ashiok into play before doing some other stuff, but fine. Like an Eternal Witness. Now maybe I want a Veteran Explorer. Yeah, I think I want a Veteran Explorer. I will sacrifice this. I will blow up the knight prior to letting my opponent search. Yes, I'll use this ability. I will get a second swamp and then a forest. Okay, my opponent is out of basics. So I think this is the time for me to just stick this Ashiok. We'll save the Eternal Witness for later. Target you. Nuke your graveyard. Plus, deal some damage there. And life's pretty good. Now my opponent can naturally just draw another Dark Depths, and that's problematic. Fuck, come on! -7, -10. Okay, I gotta have some way out of this, right? Scavenging Ooze can buy a turn. Archon of Valor's Reach can buy a turn. Okay. It would be 3 mana to get Scavenging Ooze. And then I can eat twice. And put myself to 21. My Ugin'd would die in process. 6 mana, so I can't Green Sun for Archon. Yeah, so I guess it is the Scavenging Ooze based line. Oh, that's so very unfortunate. But I'm alive. Alright, there's Scavenging Ooze. Minus with the Ashiok. Plus with the Ugin'd. And then pass the turn. So here comes the 2020. I guess I should eat now to better play around my opponent drawing another surgical extraction. Alright, there's 21. So this first hit probably just like goes after Ugin'd and kills Ugin'd, so Ugin'd doesn't minus and kill Merit Lodge. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Oh wait, hold on. Turn off auto yields. Now I can gain another life with this by exiling Grist, because Grist is a creature in this zone. Oh, I might just be able to turn Scavenging Ooze sideways and kill my opponent. Eat Grist. Hold on, is there a line where I can Eternal Witness and play Ugin'd? Eternal Witness, then I can have 3, 4, 5 mana. No, not this turn anyway. Next turn I can, though. Oh, I could also mill myself. I can mill myself and try to put more creatures into my graveyard that I can eat. Or find an answer to Merit Lodge. So this is the game that my Swords of Plowshares got extracted, so I don't have very many of those. Regardless, I think I'm going to end up Eternal Witnessing Ugin'd back. But let's give myself options. Mill myself. A Cabal Therapy. Okay. Cool. Assassin's Trophy is a little late, but is nice. I hit an Endurance. Okay, cool. Oh, Endurance will block Merit Lodge. Alright, yeah. So, actually, specifically because of like a crop rotation sacrificing the Yavimaya, I should tap differently for this. Like maybe tap something like this. This game is awesome. I am so surprised that I am alive. Okay. Alright, so my opponent cast crop rotation into my Ashiok. So they do not get to search. And now I'll return my Endurance. Yes. Yeah, I am going to hit my opponent for 5. Opponent is also probably kicking themselves a little bit for how they played this one. If they lose, it's 100% their own fault. Yep. Okay. GG's. Okay. There is a great example of the never concede until you're dead philosophy. If my opponent is going to have Swords to Plowshares, or is going to have Surgical Extraction for my Swords to Plowshares, I might want to board in that last copy of Endurance. I'm not sure how I feel about Pernicious Deed. It's a little, it's a little slow for removing some of my opponent's stuff. It's powerful, but I don't know to what extent I can afford the slowness. There's also some worlds where I could go like the Necromantia route, but I still die to the bear large creatures or Wasteland locks some portion of the time. I think I'm going to go Deed out, play that Endurance that I already boarded in, and get the other Diabolic Intent back in the deck so that I have a better chance of just sticking an early Planeswalker. Okay, well, the mulligans are not kind to me today. I guess I'll... God. Mana, though. If I draw a Black Source, this hand is reasonable. I would just, like, maybe Green Sun for a Carth, try to get an early Planeswalker, but, like, this hand objectively right now does nothing. Like, it plays 2 to 3 veteran explorers. I'm having a mulligan. This is easily the best hand so far. I will keep this. I have to put 2 back. One of my lands goes back, and then probably Swords to Plowshares. That would have been a phenomenal 6-card hand. Like, holy crap. So Swords to Plowshares or Prismatic Ending will pick this hand apart a little bit. Green Sun away. I guess I can play around that. I could just go, like, Forest Pass. Turn 2, play Phyrexian Tower. Forest, Veteran Explorer. Sack for black, get Plains. Forest. Yeah, I'm going to play around those effects. It means some of my craziest lines that involve top decks aren't live anymore, but it's probably more consistent as a whole. Alright. Damage report. Alright. Is this going to be a Reclaimer or a Safekeeper? Yeah, shit. That means they probably have the Dark Depths in hand. In which case, life is bad. Alright, I did not need a second Phyrexian Tower, but thank you. Alright, so let's sack this. Now my opponent does get double basics here. So I need a Forest for Grist, and I need a Plains so that I have out. Well, so that I can pretend I have outs to my opponent's Merit Lodge. Alright. And there's the Grist. And I'll plus. I have milled an Arena Rector, which is very sad because that would have been a good card to top deck. Well, if my opponent just has the Dark Depths in hand naturally, I suppose it doesn't matter too much now, does it? My opponent sat there and thought for a second, so now I kind of think they have a crop rotation. Alright, even more mana. 3. Okay, that's a Prismatic Ending on the Grist, unfortunately. I can't do anything about that. And the Dark Depths naturally. Plus it's protected. Oh god, yes, please make it now. This is the same mistake that they made the previous game, where they've made it main phase, and now if I draw an Arena Rector, I get to exile it with Ugin'd. This is the same mistake as last game. So the only thing that this plays around is the 2 of Assassin's Trophy. But I have like 3 more Arena Rectors in deck, so I think this is potentially a huge punt. Let's see if I punish. I don't punish, but I get a redraw towards a punish. So I want to take a swamp out of my deck with this. Okay. Wasteland doesn't matter. Alright. So I am just going to shrink my opponent's graveyard. If I am able to answer Merit Lodge, I would prefer that my opponent does not have large Knight of the Reliquaries and such moving forward. Come on, Arena Rector. Alright, I am dead, unfortunately. GG's, opponent. Okay, round 2 opening hand looks pretty bad, honestly. The mana base of this deck has been not great the first couple rounds here. Or first couple games, rather. I have to mulligan again. This is 5, huh? What am I doing with my life? I'm keeping. I have to throw back this for sure. And then it's a question of, like, do I want to try to keep Evolution Sage or this Cabal Therapy? I think I keep the Cabal Therapy so that top decking a Rector can be good later. Man, but, like, I have to fetch a non-basic here in order to do this. And I don't even have the mana for Ashiok currently. No bueno. I think I'm getting Bayou here. Target you. Name Brainstorm in the dark. If you want to be in ultimate tryhard mode, this is one of those times to, you know, MTG Goldfish your opponent and see what they're known for doing, but I don't feel like it. We're playing Nick Fit. Alright, so we're playing against Green Cloud Post. Our opponent's hand is not fantastic, but not bad either. They're just missing a Cloud Post. they find a Cloud Post with the Ancient Stirrings, all of a sudden their hand becomes pretty reasonable. Especially since I can't really do anything, you know, at all. Yeah, my opponent now has what they need to win long term. And my opponent's deck is one of the few decks that actually goes, like, above my own deck in terms of curve. Oh. Well, I'll deed that away. Can't cast my cards. Yeah. So my opponent gets to Vesuva Cloud Post this turn, and then they can use the Cloud Post to untap the, the Vesuva and the factual Cloud Post itself. I am 2 turns away from this Olamog just ruining me. I'm 1 turn away from this Olamog just ruining me. Oh, there's more. So there's the untap of the lands. Oh. Well, I suppose that's a thing. And it's pretty good. Drop rotation, get wrecked, nerd. Does it work? It works. Alright, opponent has plenty of forests. Alright, there's the Glimmer Post. There's a wee bit of ramp. What's the worst that could happen? I presume this gets another Cloud Post and then an Eye of Ugin. Note that if my mana was better and I was able to actually cast this Ashiok and prevent searching, 1 turn earlier, it wouldn't have been the end of the world. But unfortunately, it is the end of the world. Next game. I don't really have good tools for this matchup. I want to board in a Knight of Autumn as a target. I don't know if I actually want to interact with my opponent much, or if I just want to say, like, I'm going to try to make a big dumb Planeswalker before you can make a big dumb Eldrazi. I'm going to board these deeds out. They have some utility, but they're just painfully slow. The Veteran Explorers also are not free in this matchup because my opponent has basic forests, so that stings a little bit. Necromentia isn't really good because my opponent has multiple big dumb things. And it's not like taking out one of them ruins everything. And I'm not a Dark Ritual deck, so I can't just, like, Necromentia this out, name Cloud Post on turn 1, and be like, oh, now you're slow. Maybe I have to Source to Plowshares for the Primeval Titan, but, like, so much of the time, if that Primeval Titan hits play, that's just going to beat me anyway. Board, like, 2 and take out an Evolution Sage or something. I don't know, maybe the Eternal Witness is also too slow here. I don't like my board plan here. I do not feel confident in my ability to win this match. This mana base, right? Okay. I will be keeping this hand. This hand is reasonable. I'll pitch one of my lands here. This is turn 1 Veteran Explorer. Turn 2 I will have 5 total mana, which is a green sun for 4, which gets Carth. And then hopefully that gets a big dumb Planeswalker that I can do something with. There's also a world where this Nissa actually ends up turning into a Planeswalker. Ooh. That's interesting. I am probably supposed to do that. Alright, let's take my 1 point of damage. Well, therapy, target you. Yeah. My opponent has a crop rotation, they cast that in response. And then I will name one of the big dumb haymakers, probably Primeval Titan, as my first one. Okay. That's inconvenient. So I think I have to just take that Ugin out. Because long term I am not going to beat their Ugin. Don't have white mana yet, I'll pick that up. And it doesn't matter too much from there. I guess I'll take black. Ugin, the Spirit Dragon. Alright. So now, grab Savannah here and just kind of balance out my mana. I'll play Nissa. Yes. I'll get a forest out of my deck. Now, unfortunately, my opponent could just like play a Walking Ballista for 2 here, kill my Nissa if they want to. I will still have Carth for, or sorry, Green Sun for Carth on my turn here, and I've disrupted them a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. The Golos is going to be annoying. Oh, or that sort of thing can happen. Oh, that's bad. That's real bad. I don't have anything like a questing beast that can just take out this immediately. Alright, what you getting, Karn? Nope, just some acceleration. Just. So, it said my opponent was waiting to play costs there, so I don't know if they just clicked on something randomly or if they have something free like a surgical extraction that they could cast. Alright. Oh my gosh, now I have to click through all the Urborg extra mana symbols. Oh, I could get Grist. Grist is pretty good here. Yeah, sorry, Carth. Attack you. You're down to 17. Then I will sacrifice my Nissa and junk the Karn. Unfortunately, my opponent can just like finish this off with Walking Ballista. But this was the line that actually let me take the Karn out of play, so they can't grind more value out of it. I think I'm at a just whopping disadvantage here. I leave the Karn on the table, and then my opponent just like loops a Golos onto the board that stonewalls my attackers. Like, that Karn gets another card, and I don't know at what point it buries me, but I don't think it would take too long. Alright, there's the map. My opponent can search for a cloud post. Oh. Why is their sequencing like this? Shouldn't they have tapped the forest, so then they play the cloud post? The cloud post taps for 2 mana, and then they can use Walking Ballista to finish off Grist immediately? Oh, okay. They're going a different route. I mean, this works too. Actually, this is probably better in a lot of spots. I don't know. I need to draw some big dumb shit. Well, that's some big dumb shit. That's what I'm looking for. Unfortunately, this can't name creature. If I name Planeswalker to stop things like Ugin, then I can't do my own Ugin. So I guess I'm naming Artifact here. Artifact. I don't know. I'm still just not feeling good. My opponent has Inevitability. Like, they have Golos plus Karakas. It's super obnoxious. Okay, and a Reclaimer. That's a Green Sun. First things first, I attack. And then I have to figure out what this Green Sun actually does. Alright, my opponent's at 12. It's Carth. I have 1, 2, 3 total creatures in the graveyard. I could make a 5/5 Scavenging Ooze over 2 turns. Rolling the dice with Carth better? Maybe. Alright, X is 4 for the Green Sun. Alright, Carth, this is your big moment. Oh, do I want a Knight of Autumn and blow up Urza Saga? Maybe this isn't Carth's big moment. I can just like blow up the Urza Saga. That keeps my opponent from getting a second construct and keeps them from tutoring for a candle. Carth, man, I'm sorry. Goodbye, Urza Saga. So there's the 1/1 from my opponent. And that's turn. I don't know, like, maybe there's a world where I just attack with a 5/6 flyer 3 times and that works. I also just assume that my opponent has some sort of Maze of Ith, or other defensive land that will mean that I can't just kill them. Is this a Carth moment? I mean, probably. We'll see, I might change my mind again. But Elvish Reclaimer can kill Knight of Autumn in combat, so don't want to attack. Alright. 1, 2, 3, yeah. Come on, Carth. Alright, the trigger happens. Ashiok would be a dope hit. Okay. So, suppose I want
Vraska here. I only have 3 mana this turn, unfortunately. I'm just short of being able to do this and blow up this Elvish Reclaimer. Alright, Elvish Reclaimer will probably get another Cloud Post here. Oh no. Not incidental life gain. My Archon. My opponent can put multiple Cloud Posts into play this turn. I think next turn I effectively lose the game. Like, Elvish Reclaimer can get 1 by, like, rotating away the forest, tapping, like, Forest and Glimmer Post. Then the Cloud Posts produce 3 mana, or 4 mana each. My opponent has figured that out as the starting point. Then, like, Cloud Post and Yavimaya could tap for a Golos, which can get another Cloud Post into play. Oh, they just have the Ulamog. Fuck. Alright. I suppose I want to send one of these to my graveyard in case Scavenging Ooze somehow becomes relevant later, or I think I boarded out Eternal Witness, but, you know. Yeah, now, actually, my opponent has, like, Karakas Ulamog. Well, I guess I could draw Swords to Plowshares and disrupt this and, like, pretend that I'm still in the game. But I'm very much not. I guess. I'm not in this anymore. Like, I could, like, Vraska plus sacrifice this, try to draw Swords to Plowshares, but I'm not beating this fucking Eye of Ugin'd plus, like, Golos Recursion. I'm buried here. Okay, round 3 opening hand is kind of rough. Like, I can put a Veteran Explorer into play, but I can't sacrifice it, and I have 2 other things that I want to sacrifice. I think I need to probably throw this one back. The other thing I can do is just get Dryad Arbor, but again, I have no way to, like, sacrifice these things, so this hand probably isn't good. God, the mana's awkward again. I probably have to keep this on 6. Throw back Assassin's Trophy. I think I'm gonna go for turn 2 Veteran Explorer. But I don't feel good about winning with this hand. Alright. You're playing against some flavor of cantrip deck. If they're one of the ones that have white removal, my hand falls apart and does nothing. I won't be able to cast my spells. But I'm kind of forced to make this play, unfortunately. Because my hand... Like, Veteran Explorer is supposed to be both my ramp and my mana fixing here, and if this just gets removed for 1 mana, like, this game is over. Yep. GG. I lose. Yep. Yep. Cool. I'm basically ready to concede now. I have lost enough games to this deck's mana base already that I am displeased. This deck has had bad mana and mulliganed poorly, and not really executed its plan. It's rough. Like, maybe there just, like, straight up aren't enough lands in this deck or something. I am having trouble very consistently. Alright. A Glimmer of Hope appears. No. That doesn't matter unless they also have the Swords to Plowshares. If they also have the Swords to Plowshares, it fucking sucks. God damn it. Yeah, I can make 2 mana here, but that allows me to cast Cabal Therapy. Sure. I guess I could have put it in my graveyard for this Scavenging Ooze later. But I expect I will just concede the game as soon as my opponent plays a threat. Yeah, if this is just a Murktide, like, I can concede to that. Yep. Cool. Oh, there's more. Oh, and Stoneforge. Okay. We're done. We're absolutely done. Yeah, I guess I board in some Swords to Plowshares. And the Night of Autumn. I don't think I want Collector Oof, because it doesn't actually stop, like, Cauldron Complete from getting into play and fucking me up. I don't know. The path to victory is not clear for me here. I don't look at this and say, like, I know exactly what... Even destroy Cauldron Complete. I probably still need you. I don't look at this and just instinctively know what I am supposed to do in order to win this game. I can probably do small adjustments. Oh, Deed's pretty slow here. Maybe I junk Deeds and just play endurance that can turn sideways. I don't know. I am not optimistic about this one. I am expecting to 0-4 drop this league at this point. Like, I could be wrong, but it just doesn't feel like I have a plan that works. Like, do I keep this? Do I keep this thing that does no play until turn 3 and just get ranched by a Stoneforge on turn 2? I have 3 haymakers in hand, but I have nothing that can sacrifice these currently. And Ashiok does not win the game on its own. I think I'm supposed to mulligan, but man, going to 5. Okay. This is a 5-card hand that cannot cast my spells. I guess I'm keeping at this point. Gunk Knight of Autumn and I guess Diabolic Intent. I can Cabal Therapy my opponent named Brainstorm, and maybe the back half of the Cabal Therapy hits at some point. I did not hit. Opponent has turn 2 Stoneforge Mystic that will beat me. Unless exactly that happens, basically. Alright. There is hope. So I can Cabal Therapy them, and I'll still have 3 mana for Grist or Liliana. That's fine. If I want to play Grist this turn, I keep myself off of white. I think that's fine. I think I do want to play Grist over Liliana. Grab Forest Swamp. This unfortunately ramps my opponent closer to Jace. Well, maybe I can name Jace now, if I can answer Stoneforge via Grist. Sure, let's try playing that way. Alright. My opponent could cast a Dress down here to cantrip and try to hit. No, they can't hit a Force of Will because they don't have a blue card to pitch to it if they use Dress down. Alright, I have made my insect. You do your thing. Oh man, Grist doesn't sacrifice as part of the cost. It sacrifices when the ability resolves. That can be super relevant if my opponent goes like Stoneforge, Swords to Plowshares, Insect, Token. I might have to like Liliana minus Return Veteran Explorer to play, and then minus Grist. If I give my opponent more lands, I just get closer to casting these Batter Skulls and Cauldrons and such. Yeah, I feel like I'm fucked. Alright, cross that one out. Oh, they just draw a Prismatic Ending? Yep. Well, that's also pretty bad for me. I guess now I'm on a plan of cast this, minus return Arena Rector, and then like try to Ugin'd. Oh. Alright. Grab Arena Rector. Oh, I have to hit OK over here. That's fine. I'll try to greed a little bit and attack with this Insect token. I milled a Cabal Therapy. So now I'll Cabal Therapy my opponent. And I'm not sure if I'm supposed to take the Dress down so that my Arena Rector always does its thing next turn, or if I'm supposed to take the Stoneforge so they can't fetch Cauldron. I think I always want to be able to produce a Planeswalker next turn. God, the Cauldron is so hard to beat, though. Just so incredibly difficult to beat, and my opponent has like both Dress Down and Swords to Plowshares right now. I'm going to name the Dress Down. It also just cantrips, and is blue for Force of Will base reasons. Alright, let's take that out and pass the turn. Alright, there's the island. 5 mana held up. Did you actually draw Force of Will? This is the one unknown card, Force of Will. Might be a little mad if that's the case. I want Savannah, because I need white, and there's also Scavenging Ooze to think about as this game goes incredibly long. Alright, show me that the one card you drew is actually Force of Will, and this is not a bluff. God damn it. Alright, is it? I will try again next turn. Which is the whole reason why I call the potential bluff here. Because I can just Liliana minus again. We'll see if my opponent plays Stoneforge or Batterskull this turn. Alright. Well, now I have all the information. Now, unfortunately, my opponent is at 6 lands, so if at some point they fetch Kaldra, like, they will be able to cast it, and it's kind of a pain in the ass to get rid of. Okay. So, I think I am supposed to play this and kill that Stoneforge. And just hope that they don't draw a land. I think that's my line. Alright. Attempt to blow up Stoneforge Mystic. Flip Garrick into the other side. Now, I think I need to minus Liliana on this now rather than trying to keep the Liliana around. It sucks, but Arena Rector. Excuse me. If my opponent draws that 7th land and attacks my Liliana so that I don't get Arena Rector back, I won't have a realistic out to the Kaldra. Yep. This is still awful for me. Yeah. I lose a Planeswalker this way, and I effectively lost a second Planeswalker to it because I had to return the Arena Rector ahead of time to play around this scenario happening. Goodbye, Planeswalker. Alright. I play Arena Rector. I sacrifice it to the tower. Yes, I will use this ability. I presume Ugin'd is the best thing to get here. I believe I have to do this. Oh no, I can do it for 0. Exile each permanent with mana value X or less that's 1 or more colors. 0 or less that's 1 or more colors. This is 0. Okay, great. Now, this thing does just threaten to give the Batterskull haste on the next turn, so I'm going to have to, like, 0 again to get rid of a Germ token. Yeah, and my opponent can keep bouncing this Batterskull, so my Ugin'd is not actually going to gain any traction. Keeps me from losing. Mana value 3 or less. That's not really doing anything. I can sacrifice a land to draw a card. Probably doing that. Alright. Plus, I'll just sacrifice one of these swamps. An Assassin's Trophy. Oh, that's dope. So I think I am going to just -0 again. Nuke the Germ. And then when my opponent goes to fetch, I am going to nuke Batterskull. Goodbye. Okay. Now my Ugin'd does stuff. Alright, I may claw my way to a victory here. My opponent does have 9 mana though, so if they drew a Stoneforge Mystic, they could go Stoneforge Kaldra, attack in, and that would be bad for me. Oh god, or fucking worse, Murktide? I play around the Batterskull bounce scenario and get punished in the absolute worst possible way. Yeah. I would like a Swords to Plowshares, please. Yeah, but like I'm happy with the way I played this. I got punished for the line that I took. Alright, basic plains this time. A green sun. I don't think that really does anything here. Carth's boarded out. Yeah, when you draw green sun in the late game and you think, man, this doesn't do anything, that's probably a bad sign of where things are at. Eternal Witness is already gone. That was, I think, randomly milled. Yeah. Guess I can get an Archon. Like sorcery. It just gets Swords to Plowshare. God damn it. I haven't used Grist yet. Nope, I have used Grist. Fuck. Oh, I guess I'll get a Scavenging Ooze. That will at least get me some life for my Swords to Plowshares. Alright. Let's eat a Stoneforge, and then one of the things out of my graveyard. Eat the Veteran Explorer. Yeah, so I lose my Vraska this turn cycle, and my Scavenging Ooze. I'll be on an empty board again. I have to draw like Swords to Plowshares for Murktide Regent, and then I'll just be at the mercy of, you know, the top of my deck. Goodbye, Vraska. And I'm just F6'd. I don't care if my Scavenging Ooze goes to the graveyard, because I've used like Scavenging Ooze and Eternal Witness already, so number of cards in my graveyard doesn't matter. Alright. We're done. We're not beating this. All right, scoreboard's looking bad, folks. Scoreboard's looking bad. Okay. My opening hand is the same sort of situation that I've seen so many times with this deck, where I have no like real impactful play before turn 3, and I've been mulliganing these hands trying to find like high impact Veteran Explorer hands, and then dying because I don't have any cards left. But like, this does not feel like a hand that beats anything on the draw, so I think I do have to mulligan. And then this sort of stuff happens, and it's like, I guess I keep this and pitch a land. But not super stoked about this. This is a hand where I probably, like, I'm going to be on basics the whole time, so I'm going to be wastelandable. And, like, despite having a billion basics in my deck, like, that's a bad place to be. Alright. Ball Therapy, target you. It will probably just name Swords to Plowshares, as it's very, very, very likely to be in my opponent's deck. Okay. So my opponent has a pretty slow hand, too. But as we saw previously, the angles of interaction that I have, and there's the exact thing that I was just talking about. The angles of interaction that I have are not perhaps optimal when my opponent can make a 20/20 at instant speed. Alright. Land go. Now my opponent gets to make the first onboard play, which is going to be a Knight of the Reliquary. And that makes all of these expensive cards just very likely to get stuck in my hand because my opponent can wasteland me into oblivion. That's frustrating. And if I can't even like play around wasteland because I'm gonna have to play out this Phyrexian Tower this turn unless I spike another land. And I can't cast one of my primary 3-drops here. God, that's fucking frustrating. And I can't fetch a black basic so that these cards are going to be castable later if I want to work towards casting this. Oh, God, just... I'm upset. Alright. Plains. Phyrexian Tower. Get a basic forest. Yeah, I can Cabal Therapy away that Elvish Reclaimer if I want. But I think I need that Cabal Therapy in Graveyard to potentially win the game via Arena Rector, because all of my cards are going to be uncastable next turn. I can cast an Arena Rector. It doesn't do any good. Cast an Ashiok, it doesn't do any good. I can cast a Vraska, it doesn't do any good. Yeah, the Indestructible Merit Lodge just beats me here. Yep. Alright. Alright, I want some number of Swords of Plowshares and Endurance, I guess. I think I went Collector Oof, Evolution Sage, Carth out before. I think I decided Deeds were too slow as answers, and that starts me by boarding in those. I think I boarded out one Diabolic Intent before. I'm not sure if I'm actually supposed to do that, because if I'm going to win, I need to sacrifice these things. Maybe I cut Lily for Endurance. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't feel like I have a plan in general for this matchup. Like, the only reason we went to a game 3 versus this deck before is my opponent played in the way that, like, the one way they could have played that allowed them to lose. Yes. Mulligan. For the 80th time in this league, mulligan. Like, what does my deck do? Keep. I'll pitch the Ugin'd. I don't know. Let's see if I can string something together here. I guess I'm fetching basics and just make it more difficult to cast some of these spells later. We're gonna name Knight of... Actually, no, my early game sucks. Let's name Elvish Reclaimer. Always. I don't know. My opponent's hand is strong enough that maybe I can do something. But, like, now this Knight of the Reliquary is going to come down before my Ashiok comes down. Yeah, this is a disaster. I have effectively lost this game already. Due naming a reasonable name with Cabal Therapy that didn't pan out. Also not going to fetch because Wasteland is a thing. So I can't fucking fetch and play Ashiok here. If I fetch and play Ashiok, I get Wastelanded or I take myself off a color. Like, am I all in on Ugin? Is that what I'm gonna do? Like, play Ashiok, don't minus fetch. I could play Ashiok, fetching double dual land and just saying like, hey, if you can kill this Ashiok, I lose the game, and then just hope that I draw a land next turn to play Arena and get Ugin into play, and just use Ashiok as a stopgap. I can also, yeah, okay. Triple Verdant Catacombs was rough here. I think I'm going to go the non-basic route and hope to draw a land exactly next turn, and lose the game if I miss on that. Alright. I could get a forest here, now that I fetch Scrubland and hedge in the middle. That's probably better. But again, if I get Wastelanded, I think I lose anyway. Alright. Ashiok pass. Alright. Oh no. I'm going to lose Ashiok, aren't I? I'm not gonna get... Oh, I didn't. So my opponent could have fetched, then crop rotationed to just put another land into the graveyard, and they would have like called themselves a couple of times, but I would have lost a lot. I don't know if that's worth it from their side. I guess I'm just gonna play Veteran Explorer. That's about all I can do. Well, not exactly true. Alright. I think we're in the get cheeky moment of this league. I think I am going to give up this Cabal Therapy as a way to sacrifice Arena Rector and just put an Arena Rector into play. Cabal Therapy, target you. Sacrifice Veteran Explorer. Because of my Ashiok, my opponent does not get to search. I will pick up a white, and I guess I need green for endurance, so we'll pick up a green. Now both of my opponent's cards are search based, so as long as Ashiok is alive, they don't do much. I am going to name Crop Rotation though, because that can still at least grow the knight. Okay. Endurance means that I can't actually sacrifice Arena Rector and have it do its thing either. That is not the best for me. And I have to not minus the Ashiok so that I can chump block Knight of the Reliquary. Alright, that was a thing too. I guess I forced that play. Yeah. Yeah, I'm supposed to make them force that play. But like now their fetch line's on, now the green sun's on. Oh, maybe they don't know how endurance works. I can hope for that, right? I'm probably supposed to just like kill the Knight of the Reliquary here, rather than try to plus and hope they don't know how their cards work. Alright, I'll hold endurance back so that it can be a chump blocker for endurance if endurance is played. Or, you know, stop a Dryad Arbor from attacking. Oh, just holding endurance. I mean, that's fine. That means this Planeswalker continues to live. That's good for me. Oh no, they just naturally drew stage plus depths. Then this gets, whatchamacallit, Sylvan Safekeeper. Oh, no, Elvish Reclaimer. Sure, I mean, that's fine too. But if they didn't play Endurance last turn, and they probably know how their cards work. Just pull a non-basic out of the deck, I suppose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's also kind of the worst draw, right? Because I want to pull this out of my deck. All right. Well, let's force the whole endurance thing to happen now. All right, Diabolic Intent. Okay. We may be in this yet. All right. So my ability fizzles. I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. Man, drawing the Ugin is such a tilt after everything else that has happened here. Am I just getting Swords of Plowshares so I don't die to Merit Lodge? I don't know. Let's figure this out. Ugin, though. Chris doesn't kill the things that I need it to kill right now. It doesn't do anything. So I guess it's Garruk. Ashiok is back in the deck, but I can't protect it currently. Yeah, so I guess I'm getting Garruk. And I'll get Swords to Plowshares so that I can answer a Merit Lodge. I think that's better than Karakas, because Karakas could just be wastelanded if my opponent plays things slower. Gunk the Elvish Reclaimer here. Gonna transform this critter. And I will lose one of my 2 planeswalkers next turn. Alright. Which one's going down? I presume it's Vraska? Yes, it is Vraska. Okay. Alright. If you control 7 or more lands, exile it. Okay, so I will be able to turn this into the other planeswalker thingy. I can get a new creature of my choice. I'm not sure that that's better than just making a wolf, though. I guess I can dismiss this. Like, that's in play. I know. I'll take a look at what creatures I have while I'm in there. Scavenging Ooze is kind of interesting, but slow. Get my own endurance. Yeah, I think I'm just going to make a chump blocker here. We'll play that land, transform this, then going to make the 4/4 creature, and the 1/1 creature, and call it a turn. And we'll see if my opponent has like a crop rotation and a second Sajiri step or an out of this world or something to beat the Swords to Plowshares. Alright, they produce Merit Lodge, and I will exile it. Okay, cool. So you're telling me there's a chance. If I draw a land, I have Ugin. Alright, yeah, you can Once Upon a Time. If I draw a land, I have Ugin, and if I get that into play, life's pretty good. An Elvish Reclaimer. Yep. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. Wow, I might actually get to, like, turn the corner on this game. That's a land. I will be able to Ugin. I guess I always start here, right? I reveal a Windswept Heath, which goes directly into play. So, oh no. How does the CMC on these work? They changed the rules. So I'm going to nuke. If I -3, I'll nuke this Planeswalker and keep Garruk. I think that means I attack with both of these. I think I do want to play Ugin. Yeah, so I think I'll attack with both. And then I'll minus with Garruk. Send them. Alright, my opponent wants to trade. That is acceptable. Oh wait, hold on. If I kill Endurance in combat, this is even better for me, because then I just need to -1 to get rid of Elvish Reclaimer. Yeah. This has probably worked out well for me. You have a mode that kills a creature, you don't, right? You just Death Touch. Yeah, you just Death Touch. Okay. I'll minus you. Sacrifice this wolf. I'll use that to suppose look for Grist. I'll fetch. Grab a Savannah. Let's thin the deck while we're at it. Grab Bayou. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Will my opponent concede to the Ugin? Negative. Minus X. X is 1. That nukes the Elvish Reclaimer and the Dryad Arbor. And I'll pass the turn. Alright, opponent passes the turn. That's fine. So I guess let's start by plussing this one. It's an Assassin's Trophy. That's an excellent draw. Plus this one. Let's plus this one. Then I'll play Grist. And plus this one. I am more likely to time out than to lose this game at this point. Because I'm activating 4 planeswalkers a turn cycle while my opponent does nothing, and they're at 35 life. Yeah, your Once Upon a Time is fine. Yep, that's fine. Grist minus will kill that. Alright, Grist minus. Sacrifice the insect. Kill the knight. Let's make this 4/4 so I can start doing damage to the life total. And then I'll plus Ugin'd for a lightning bolt worth of damage. Should have rebooted Moto if I knew that this degree of grinding was going to happen. Play Veteran Explorer. Minus. Sacrifice Veteran Explorer. I'm gonna grab the Archon, I think. Yes. Take the last 2 basics out of my deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I named Sorcery here. And we'll call that a turn. Oh wait, I get to attack. 1 point of damage. Okay, sure. I don't want to name instant with my Archon because I want to be able to hold up Assassin's Trophy for my opponent making a Merit Lodge, which is one of the few ways that I could actually lose. Yeah, there's a piece of the combo. Alright. Plus you. Plus you. That's a Kaya. Plus you, blow that up. Plus you. Play you. Play you. -2 you, take out whatever card you have in your hand. That is a crop rotation. If I didn't have this Assassin's Trophy, I would die. Oh, they don't have another Dark Depths. Sick. Oh wait, no, that was... Never mind. Oh, an Arena Rector. I can just play this. Send them all in. All 2 of them. I produced 4 other creatures this turn. Go to the end step. I will destroy 2 of your lands for 2 mana. Yep, so I will let you copy it. The legend rule thing happens, and then I blow up this one. Black and green. And then you do not get a Merit Lodge. Yeah, so at this point my opponent is just trying to take seconds off my clock. So I'm probably not going to take very many actions here. I am probably just going to attack and then do things that do damage, and other than that, don't click on my cards. Yeah, let's just accelerate the clock here. It's taking so long for these actions to go through. I'm trying to kill next turn. Maybe I'm taking too much time to activate these Planeswalkers ability. I'm just gonna F6 there. I can do more, but I probably just need to turn cards sideways. I need to win another game beyond this in 5 minutes, and this deck is not fast at closing the game, which should be obvious based on the fact that I have a whole bunch of Planeswalkers in play and my opponent is not dead. Alright, I'm going to reboot mode Magic Online real quick. Okay, I'm back. Now, in case you're not familiar with this bug, when you restart the client, if you were sideboarded, you become unsideboarded. So we have to refigure out what we did again. I think I went Oof out, Evolution Sage out, Pernicious Deeds out. I don't remember from there. So this gets me these, but I know I had some number of endurances as well. I think I went Liliana out for an endurance. I'm not sure if I brought in the second one. Did I board Carth out? I might have boarded Carth out for being slow. Let's try something like this. I don't think I can win in 5 minutes given everything. This hand has interaction, but I need a way to win. I would keep this hand if I had more time. This hand has a turn 2 Ashiok. I will keep this. Oh, shit, this hand doesn't have a turn 2 Ashiok. I get to 3 mana on turn 2, but not the correct colors. So fuck it, whatever. Green Sun. I need to remove this stop. Save myself a few seconds over time. Okay, drawing another Green Sun, I will use one of them to just get a Dryad Arbor. Alright, yeah, I'm just on the back foot already because of clock, and my opponent also has Oh, well, now I guess I could draw a removal spell for Elvish Reclaimer this turn. No such luck. I can Cabal Therapy my opponent, and also, before I do the Veteran Explorer thing, I would really like to have Ashiok in play. So let's do this. Let's grab Veteran Explorer. I think I just pass the turn here. Fuck it. This is bad sequencing. This should be basic Swamp if I'm doing things this way, but I do not have time to think through my lines. I just need to take lines. Same night. Okay, double Prismatic Ending is obnoxious. Okay, well, I guess that means we're doing this shit. I'll sacrifice this. Yes, I'll use this ability. I'll grab 2 lands. My opponent will get 2 lands. My opponent should probably flash in their Endurance here, because if they don't, I'm doing this. I just don't want them to kill me quickly. And I need to, like, keep some world where I can maybe protect this Ashiok. Yep, Elvish Reclaimer away. Work towards that Marilage, and my Ashiok is going to be too slow to stop you from surging a second time. Yep. Alright, there's Karakas. Oh, my opponent activates Elvish Reclaimer, gets Dark Depths, does the thing. I have Assassin's Trophy, which I will be able to just cast. Alright. There's Ashiok. My opponent does their searching in response. Oh, they've just gotten a tropical island. Alright, so they're going to play this one slow rather than going for it. Which I guess means that I have to change my tactics as well. So then I will just Assassin's Trophy destroy that rather than waiting for the other stuff. Make you mill. Bash in for 1. They're going to Prismatic away, ending away Ashiok, so I take the largest. Oh, they just fucking have it naturally as their 1 unknown card. All right, I'm dead to it. Concede. Drop League. We're done. Drop. Okay. I'm not even gonna pull up the deck list for this one. This deck didn't work. The planeswalkers that are in this deck are not consistently big enough to just win the game on their own when they enter play, and that's a huge problem. So if you draw your Ugin'd naturally in a game, you don't have a second just absolutely game-ending haymaker in the deck to go and just win the game on the spot when you get to do the Academy Rector thing. And like in that previous match there, I had 4 different planeswalkers in play, and I still just like could not kill my opponent. It still just took multiple turns when I controlled 3 or 4 planeswalkers for the game to be over, and that's a pretty bad sign. So I think the mana base here was a little bit sketchy. I think the deck didn't have enough good opening plays. I think the decks did not have enough bridges to the late game, and I thought the late game was not strong enough. So I don't mean to crap on the like deck building or anything, but like this idea did not work. Sorry, Carth Nickfit. I do not think you are the optimal Nickfit build right now. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. But I hope some of these games were interesting and entertaining to you nevertheless. You enjoyed the content, please click the like button. It's the easiest way to help me out for free. If you enjoy the content, consider subscribing for Legacy, Modern, and Vintage content 5 days a week. If you really like it, consider clicking the join button for some exclusive videos that aren't released to the public. And if you want to try this deck out or get your own deck on the channel, that information is in the video description. Have a great rest of the day.